This review has been made possible by Toyota of Naperville. As you know, Toyota has tons of brand new Toyotas available for purchase, but did you know that they also have a remarkable selection of used cars? Head on over to toyotaofnaperville.com and look through hundreds of used cars for sale right now.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2005 Toyota Sienna. Up front is a 3.3 liter V6, and down below is a 5-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this here Sienna for two main reasons. First of all, I don't know why this happens, but I review lots and lots of cars. This is my 580-something review. And recently, I've just been on a hot streak of reviewing cars from 2005. I just got out of a Cadillac STS from 2005. I just drove a Subaru Baja from 2005 and a bunch of other 2005 vehicles I've recently put up on the channel. I don't know why that happens with reviews. They just come in waves, and this is yet another 2005 vehicle to add to my repertoire. But the second reason I'm excited to be driving this car is because I had a friend in high school that drove one of these. We took it on a couple of trips and things like that, and we'll talk about that at the end of the video, but I have some sweet nostalgia with this body style of Sienna. So let's hop right in. Let's get back to that 3.3 liter V6 under the hood. I'll put the horsepower and torque up on the screen. Nobody cares. I'll put the miles per gallon up on the screen, the fuel efficiency, if that's something you are more interested in, because when you're buying a van, it probably is. Now, I'm happy that the Sienna gets a V6. We are warmed up here out on the test track. I guess we'll do an acceleration test. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, that was 35. This is not a fast vehicle, and so anything less than a V6 is not adequate. It gets up out of its own way. You're gonna be able to merge on the highway with ease. Okay, maybe not ease, but you're gonna be able to do it in a safe manner. And that's all you really need to worry about. Like I said, paired to a 5-speed automatic, there was no manual option for the Sienna, of course. Last but not least, this here Toyota Sienna is all-wheel drive, which is really awesome that Toyota was doing this back in 2005. I did not know that they made all-wheel drive Siennas this far back. So let's talk about the interior. We have quite a bit to go through in here, of course, because it's a minivan. Well, in front of me, I have three main gauges. On the left is my tachometer and odometer. In the center, I get my speedometer, and on the right, I get my fuel and coolant temperature. Very plain gauges. They have this sort of silver outline to them. Makes them a little bit easier to see, and I quite like that. On the steering wheel, on the left, I have my volume controls, skip track, and mode. And on the right, because this is a lower trim model, I don't get any features. However, I do get a cruise control stalk, so this does come with cruise control at least. To the left of me, I have my power mirrors, my rear vent switch, as well as my sliding door on and off button. On the door, I have my power windows and power locks. And then moving into the center, we have a very 2005 radio. I have AM, FM, as well as a cassette player. I do have a disc player as well, and this is very, very dated at this point, but very traditional for 2005. I don't really expect anything more. It's before the era of touchscreens being in mainstream cars, and I have to add mainstream because everyone's like, oh, back in the 90s, a couple cars had touchscreens. They did, but they weren't common like they are today. Even the cheapest car in America, the Chevy Spark, has a touchscreen. To the left of that, I have my hazard switch and rear defrost, and to the right, I have a little light that lights up when the car is locked. Then I have two climate control vents and the climate controls themselves. I do have controls for the rear climate controls, so I can actually control that from up here if like a young kid can't reach them or things like that. And then I have the shifter down below. The shifter is mounted to the dash like most minivans, and it is the very typical Toyota shifter that I like to call the jigsaw shifter because you just kind of wiggle it back and forth to get it in and out of gear. To the right of that, I do have a little cubby. And down below, I have two 12-volt outlets, a pop-out cup holder, and a giant storage compartment down at the bottom. Now, moving on to the actual center console, we have bigger cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test, and the big friggin' bottle fits in the Toyota Sienna. Now, it doesn't fit in that little cup holder on the dash, but these that are right by my leg, it fits perfectly. This is how you do it, and I'm very happy to see that the Toyota Sienna accommodates the big friggin' bottle, because that's what I look for in larger vehicles. I expect them to be able to carry it.
So, a couple of thank yous to the people who made this video possible. First of all, we have Cash for Cars. Cash for Cars wants to buy your car. Whether it's running, non-running, has a good title, salvage title, whatever it is, you can get a free quote from Cash for Cars and they will pick up your vehicle in less than 24 hours. Our next sponsor is Fixed. Fixed is a Bluetooth OBD2 sensor that plugs directly into your car and pairs to your smartphone. The app allows you to monitor your vehicle's health. It gives you a forecast of issues that might come up and helps you schedule maintenance and find new parts. Our final sponsor is Conplates. Conplates is a suction cup license plate mount for the front of your vehicle if you don't want to drill one into your bumper. All three of our fantastic sponsors can be found in the description below, as well as videos explaining them further if you'd like more information, but let's get on with the review.
Then I just have a flat piece and a little flip-up cup holder that allows you to fit one more bottle as well as two more cup holders at the very back of the center console. So your cup holding needs will be met by this here Sienna. The seats are decently comfortable. They are cloth and they look like every 90s Toyota ever produced. And something to go along with that is that this car, the interior smells like every 90s Toyota ever produced. I could be blindfolded, get a good sniff, and I will immediately know that I am in a Toyota product. It's not a bad smell. It's not a particularly amazing smell. It's similar to the smell of mid-2000s German cars where they smell like melted crayons. It doesn't smell like that, but like it's a consistent smell across multiple models, if that makes sense. It's just the fabric that they use in here. It almost smells like a golden retriever, almost. It's very, very interesting. Or maybe it just smells like my friend's house who has a golden retriever. I don't know, but it smells like a Toyota. Toyota owners will know what I mean. Please leave a comment if you know what I mean. Please, someone else back me up here. It smells like an old Toyota. But speaking of seats, this is a minivan, so let's go do some back seat reviews. So, we're in the back of the 2005 Toyota Sienna. First of all, I want to show you me getting in because this does not have power doors. However, higher trim Siennas do have power doors if that's something you'd want to seek out. Actually, hold that thought. The passenger side, arguably the more important side of the car for the minivan, actually does have a power door, which can be toggled either on the door or here on the key fob. So you do get one power door. Not the driver's side, but the passenger side does get it, which is nice. I do have Toyota rear seat audio up here. I can change the volume and things like that. And this is not a DVD player. This is just like a storage bin. So this does not have a DVD player. I have cup holders in the doors, cup holders up here. Like I said, your cups are going to definitely find a home somewhere in the car. The big friggin' bottle does, if you really jam it, it'll fit in these side ones. But it's really not meant to do that. Tons of space. This little aisle right here makes it very easy to get from the second row into the third row, which I will now do. Back row's pretty good. The seat can actually recline a little bit more. I have two cup holders on either side. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Behind the rear seats, there are at least 8 cup holders. If you flip open that little one on the center console, that will be 9 cup holders. As well as I do get these little storage bins back here. I'm not really sure what you can put in them. They're very, very small, but at least you get some storage back here. Very, very nice. This is why minivans are king. If you have 4 kids, you have to get a minivan. You just do. Millennials are trying to kill minivans for the SUV, and it's so dumb. These are literally purpose-built for families. But let's take something that was originally built for sport off-roading and try to make that a family thing. I don't know. Minivans will always reign supreme in my mind. But let's go take a look at the trunk as I hop off my high horse. All right, so we're on the back of the Toyota Sienna. Lift under here. It does have struts to help out, although it's not a power tailgate. And look at all the space that you get when these seats are up. You get these nice areas in here, these nice side pockets, things like that. But then you can do this, grab this. And look at that. Now you have a pretty flat loading floor. You can fit a ton of stuff in here if you're gonna move someone in or out of college, new apartment, things like that. If you want to camp back here, I'm sure you could put a sleeping bag back here, things like that. It's very nice that it has a sort of stow and go system. I know stow and go is, I think, technically trademarked by Chrysler, but you can stow the rear seats back here and have a pretty flat loading floor. There we go. The headrest was kind of, it does have a flat loading floor. I just didn't do it quite properly, but very, very nice that you can do that, and it opens up a lot of space in the back of the Sienna. Now we got to talk about the looks, and this is arguably one of the worst colors you can find the Toyota Sienna in. I'm not a fan of this gold, especially because the headlights are slightly hazed over. I think it just looks so dated. I think gold was one of the worst aging colors you could have gotten this in. They had like a nice midnight blue. I would highly recommend trying to search that out because that color is still sort of popular and still looks good 16 years later. But now let's get to my final thoughts on this here Sienna. And we're going to be talking a lot about that 178,000 mile odometer. Well, like I stated at the beginning of the video, I had a friend growing up that drove one of these. It was his parents' car, but you know, being 16, 17, 18 years old, that's all we had to drive, was our parents' cars. And so, being a 16, 17, 18-year-old, we wanted to get out into the world. We thought we were ready. We thought we were adults. So when we graduated high school, me and 3 friends drove our friend's Sienna up to Door County, Wisconsin. And we had a fantastic time. It was a boys' trip. We thought we were grown. We thought we were men. And oh, how I wish to go back to 18 years old. So naive. That same summer, we took the same minivan up to Lake Delavan, Wisconsin. We also used that Toyota Sienna to play a game called Manhunt, where there's 2 teams, and you blindfold one of the team members and drop them off in the middle of nowhere. They can't use their GPS, and you have to call your team members to come pick you up just based off of street signs and your local surroundings. It was a fun game where you had to figure out where the heck you were after being blindfolded for a half hour, and the first person to return back to the said house with their person won. We used that Toyota Sienna a lot for that game. The sliding doors made us feel like action heroes. My point being is that I've never owned a Toyota Sienna, but I have all these memories with one, and that is what makes these cars so good. This is a used vehicle from Toyota of Naperville, but I can't even imagine the stories that this car is ready to tell. All of the road trips, all of the grocery store runs, the soccer practices, the band practices, that time that we shoved 8 people into it. It's a 7-seater. The time we shoved 9 people into it, 10 people into it. And so yes, this car has seen a lot. There's a blue stain on the passenger seat. Maybe that was a desperate boyfriend trying to cheer up a quite angry girlfriend. And so he got her a blue icy from the gas station. It's her favorite one. And while driving it to her house, it spilled a little on the seat. And it just made him feel so much worse. It was just salt in the wounds. The headlights are hazed over, and I can't imagine the long nights that these headlights stayed on in a parking lot, talking, laughing, listening to the new music that just came out, joking and gossiping. There are some cracks on the dashboard, the vinyl dashboard, probably from days where it was 105 degrees, 110 degrees, and you take this Toyota Sienna out to the Indiana dunes, and you spent the day out there, and it was great, and you get back to the car, and it's so hot, and there's just stale air, and whoever's starting it, you're like, get the AC going, come on! And you're all sitting there, and your skin is red, and it hurts, and your hair was wet, but now it's dry, and now it's like stiff from the beach water, and there's sand between your toes, and you know you just have to walk the rest of the day with sand between your toes. It's literally just gonna grind down the insides of your feet. That's what I love about high mileage cars. That's why I love the fact that this has close to 180,000 miles. You know, when I got rid of my Pontiac G6, it had 193,000 miles, and I could write several coffee table books about that car, about the things I did to it, the things I did in it, the things I did for it. And I'm sure this car has a similar history. There's no way it doesn't. And with all of that being said, here in 2021, this is it's July 16th today. This car is running and driving fine. Yeah, it could use an alignment. There are some cracks in the vinyl, but besides that, this car has driven around the equator 7 times in terms of distance. Around the world 7 times. Man, it's still going. And I love the fact this is for sale from Toyota of Naperville. Someone is going to buy this car and they're going to make their own memories with it. It's still going. This car is going to hit 200,000 miles. This car is going to hit 215, 230,000 miles. It is going to witness more breakups. It is going to witness more band practices. It's going to go on more road trips. It's going to spend more late nights outside of the garage. And that's what I love about Toyota. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Their motto is let's go places, when it really should be let's keep going places. I love it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Toyota of Naperville for letting me take out their used Toyota Sienna. They have brand new Siennas available in hybrid and all-wheel drive if you'd like them, but they have tons of other cars. If you're looking to sell your car, the market is crazy right now. They are giving great deals, sometimes above MSRP for some vehicles. So now is the time to turn in your used car, and Toyota of Naperville is the perfect spot to do that. They will give you a great deal. And they're just a joy to work with. They really are great people, and I wouldn't work with them for almost 3 years if I didn't think so. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.